So in this video, I'm going to share some tips and tricks to make your Pinterest profile a lot better than it is. So I actually have my notes here of the tips and tricks that I wrote down to share with you guys. Quite a lot, so I'll go through it quickly. So the first thing is that everything that needs copy should include keywords. So that includes your board, your profile name, profile description, board description, and stuff like that. Your pins, your pin description, pin title, everything should have keywords on Pinterest. So the next four things are for board. For boards, your main brand board should be at the top of your Pinterest profile. So you should be putting your main board that has all stuff about your product and stuff like that. Put it at the top so that when users come and look at your profile, the first thing they will see is your own board about your own company or your own product or service. Next thing is that you don't need any unnecessary boards. So if it's not related to your niche, just don't create a board for it. If you're not posting a lot on it and adding new pins to it, then you don't need it either. You can delete that board. So the next thing is that your brand should have a good description with tons of keywords related to your niche. So your board should have, like it said, tons of descriptions, tons of keywords in it, because that's how people could actually find your board on Pinterest. So if you had a lot of description, when they search for that specific keyword, they could see your board potentially. And the last thing for boards you want to do is join about 15 or more group boards that are constantly active. So this will help you, like you can promote your own stuff to that board and people will save that pin to their own board, which will let Pinterest know that people are actually engaging with your pins, so they'll show it to more people who will then pin and the cycle continue. For pins, your pins should reflect your brand. So what this means is that if your main brand color is like yellow, most of your pins should have like some yellow in it to show that it's your brand and not just have random colors because it doesn't show that it's your brand. For example, if you see Starbucks Pinterest account, a lot of it is green because their logo and brand color is green. So next is that have your brand link or logo in a pin so that no one can steal your content. So on a pin, you should have like either your website domain or put your logo, your brand logo on it so that if people want to steal your pins, because unfortunately people do that, if they take it and try to publish it as their own, your description or your brand domain name will be there so people know it's actually yours. So the next thing is your pins should be vertical. Pinterest has a vertical, all the pins are vertical, unlike most other social media platforms where it's a square. So for Pinterest, the longer the better, but don't make it too long because then people won't be interested in it and you'll have to find stuff to fill the entire length. Next is that the words on your pins should be easy to read and they should be a big font. On Pinterest, if you scroll through, you can see like a lot of people's pins, it's like huge fonts that are clear and easy to read. So if you want to really blow up on Pinterest, you should have a clear font that is bold and easy to read. So approved for rich pins. This is great if you're a business owner because if you have a e-com website, then you can take your product, put it on Pinterest, and as soon as people go into your Pinterest account and they see that pin and they decide that they want to buy it, all they have to do is click on that product and buy it on Pinterest. This is great if you want people to instantly just buy your product without having enough time to think about it and decide no that they don't want to. So the next is don't have a lot of hashtags on your pins because it's practically useless because on Pinterest, what's important is the SEO, the keywords that you use in your pins. So some keyword tips are use Pinterest search because on Pinterest there's a search bar. When you search your keyword, a specific keyword, let's say you do cooking, you could do cooking and then it'll show you some popular searches that a lot of people have been searching about cooking, and you could use those as your pin title and have those keywords in your description as well so that you could rank in that keyword. The next is use the top recommended feature on Pinterest to get specific keywords. So this feature, I believe that Pinterest is taking it out and doing like 50-50. So like some people have it, some people won't. So if you don't have it, that's okay. But if you do have it, search a specific keyword. Then at the top of the thing of Pinterest, you'll see the top recommended keyword. There it's basically, let's say you're doing cooking, right? You type cooking, you see that. And then one of the options is cooking with flour and you click on that, there could be more specific keywords like cooking with flour and oil. So that's a long tail keyword right there. Those are great if you're a beginner, which brings me on to my next point of using long tail keywords. So if you're a beginner, it's great to use long tail keywords because even if you started a Pinterest account yesterday, you could still use long tail keywords and like start getting searches like the next few days. So the goal on using keywords is to rank the highest. You don't just want to use keywords for the sake of using keywords. You want to use it because you want to rank at the top for that keyword. The next is Pinterest tips. The next is pin tips. So for pins, don't use a lot of text. Don't use too many text colors. So, you know, like you could make a color like red or blue. Don't use a lot of that because it distracts the reader and they just move away from it. The next is that you don't want to use a lot of, you don't want to use different types of fonts. The max amount of fonts you should use is 2. If you use 1, that's great as well. But like, don't have a lot of fonts because like I said, it discourages the reader from continuing to read on. And it feels like you're deciphering some kind of code because everything is in different fonts and you don't want. The next is to space everything out. So you want to space out everything on your pins and you want to make it easy to read and easy to see for your readers. And you want to make the background eye-catching because when the users are scrolling through Pinterest, everything just looks the same. They'll keep scrolling. They're trying to find something unique. And if yours is there unique and it just pops at them, then they'll more likely click on that pin and actually read what's there. So the last is to create a template. So for this, it's basically use like a template that you can easily tweak to make your pins look different, yet not spend a lot of time trying to create pins because it's a time waster and you have other things either on Pinterest or on your business to worry about. So using templates is one of the best things that you can do if you don't want to waste time on Pinterest. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.